Hey there, pirates. Welcome aboard the Anime No Me channel. There are things we pretend not to see just because they seem way too impossible, right? But when Oda starts dropping little pieces, kind of hidden, that fit together perfectly, you stop and think, maybe he's been throwing this in our face since the very beginning and we were just too busy laughing at Borsalino's jokes? Because that's exactly what I'm starting to believe. Kizaru was never truly an admiral at heart. He's actually a secret agent for the Revolutionaries. Crazy? Maybe, but hear me out. If there's one character who's never really shown what he's truly about, it's Kizaru. Since his first appearance back in Sabaudi in chapter 504, the guy acts kind of weird. Does he fight strong? Yeah. Does he have insane haki? Absolutely. But he always seems limited. Like, he's holding back. He could have captured all the supernovas if he wanted to, could have crushed Luffy right there. But it always seems like he just does the basics. Only what's necessary. The minimum to seem loyal, but not enough to take out those who clearly threaten the world government. Why? Then you add that to his behavior in Egghead, and things get even more suspicious. From chapter 1091 on, Kizaru invades the island, and we finally see him fighting full force, or so we think we will. He arrives, acts tough, knocks out Sentomaru, but when it comes time to finish Vegapunk, he hesitates. He just can't complete the mission. And it's not for lack of power. Kizaru is one of the fastest and most dangerous characters in the world, yet still, he fails. And in chapter 1100, Vegapunk says something that totally changes the weight of this. He talks to Kuma about lights that never go out. The obvious metaphor here is Borsalino himself, the light that keeps burning, the double agent. Let's go back in time. Kizaru has a history with Vegapunk. He worked with him for years, oversaw the pacifistas, studied the power of the light fruit, and saw up close what Vegapunk tried to do, save the world with science. Not control it, not dominate, just illuminate it. What if Kizaru understood that mission? What if he saw the path the government was taking was wrong? Maybe he secretly allied with Vegapunk and more. Maybe he joined the Revolutionaries without anyone knowing. But what about Kuma? Kizaru's closest link is with Kuma himself. In chapter 1095, the flashback shows Kuma was turned into a weapon against his will. But before that, he was close to Vegapunk. What if Kizaru saw all that? What if he witnessed the government using a human being as a guinea pig? If that was enough for him to turn against the system, but keep his cover. He saw Kuma get dehumanized and maybe swore to himself he wouldn't let it continue. Maybe Kuma himself asked, stay inside and light the way when the time comes. And now, put all this together with Nika. In chapter 1094, when Luffy activates Gear 5 again, Kizaru stops fighting. He hesitates. He looks at it like he's seeing a legend. And man, if there's one guy who understands light, it's him. Kizaru may not know everything about Joy Boy, but he knows the idea of the sun god. And he knows light isn't just destruction, it's liberation too. Maybe he saw that in Luffy. Maybe he saw the same spark Vegapunk tried to light in the world. And if that's not enough, look at the other admirals. Akainu is a fanatic for absolute justice. Fujitora is clearly against the system but came later. Ryokugyu is another one who follows the hierarchy without question. But Kizaru? Kizaru is always in the middle. He never seems fully involved, never fully distant. He floats, like light, and that makes him the perfect agent. Now, imagine a theory that ties it all together. Kizaru was planted inside the Navy by the Revolutionaries decades ago. Maybe not even Dragon knows. Maybe only Vegapunk and Kuma. Maybe he's a lone cell. He climbed the ranks, became admiral, gained the trust of the Gorosei, but he never stopped being a light that walks alone. He doesn't act out of hatred, ambition, or fear. He acts for balance. And if that balance breaks, he'll be the spark of rebellion. And I know you might think, but he attacked Luffy? Yeah, but he also didn't finish him. And in chapter 1111, he shows up injured, defeated, but not destroyed. Maybe because he never intended to win. Maybe his real mission was to observe, test Luffy, see if Nika was real. And now that he's seen it, confirmed it, felt the impact of Gear 5 with his own eyes, maybe he's ready to turn the tide. If Kizaru really is a secret revolutionary agent, then right now he's at the most dangerous point of his life, because he's been undercover for too long. And in this kind of mission, the biggest risk isn't getting defeated, right? It's getting exposed. And after what went down on Egghead, I think his cover started to crumble. In chapter 1112, when the Gorosei were already setting foot on Egghead, Kizaru was down, unable to get up, and Saturn started to suspect. The look he gave Kizaru wasn't just anger, it was doubt. Like, why did he fail? Was it just incompetence or choice? And that's where the real danger begins. Because the Navy might tolerate mistakes, but the world government? No way, especially the Knights of God. who until now seemed like just a loose concept, but now, with everything we know about them, are actually Imu's true watchdogs. If they find out Kizaru is playing both sides, it's over for him. And the crazy part is, maybe Kizaru isn't even afraid of that. Maybe he's ready, because the time has come. And you know why I think that? Because Kuma is back. In chapter 11:01, we see Kuma's journey culminating at Egghead. And the most emotional part is that Vegapunk cried when he saw him, because that wasn't just the arrival of a friend, it was confirmation that the old plan was still alive. Maybe the plan was simple: keep one agent inside the Navy, another in the scientific ranks, another on the battlefield, and wait for the new Nika to appear. And now that Luffy is out there, jumping, laughing, and fighting like a solar deity, the green light has been given. And Kizaru knows it. And if you still doubt it, think about chapter 11:13, when the pacifistas started acting against the government's will following Kuma's orders. That means Vegapunk's system was preserved. And who was the first guy to test the pacifistas in battle? Kizaru. He knows the codes, he understands the logic, he could very well be connected to that command. Maybe he helped Vegapunk embed a secret control, and that would make him a key piece in this uprising. But here comes the question: what can Kizaru do now? The answer is simple: disappear. Because if he stands up now and keeps pretending to be loyal to the government, the Gorosei will force him to do something he doesn't want to do: kill Vegapunk, kill Luffy, or even eliminate Kuma once and for all. And he won't be able to. So maybe his next step is to vanish, pretend to be incapacitated, let the fight unfold, and escape. Maybe he already has an extraction point ready with the Revolutionaries. Maybe Dragon has been waiting for this moment for years. And speaking of Dragon, have you noticed he's never been shown meeting with Kizaru? Yeah, and maybe that's no coincidence. Maybe even Dragon thinks Kizaru is just another admiral, but maybe deep down, he knows. Maybe Kuma himself left a message, or Vegapunk. And then, when Kizaru finally shows up in front of the Revolutionary Army, instead of being met with hostility, he'll be welcomed as someone they were expecting. Someone who sacrificed himself for decades, walking among wolves, waiting for the moment to light the spark. Now, if that happens, if Kizaru really joins Dragon and reveals everything he saw, everything he knows, everything he witnessed about the government's experiments, Imu's secrets, the Gorosei's decisions, then the game changes. Because no one has more insider credibility than him. He knows where the bases, labs, hideouts, and archives are. He has access to everything, and that's the turning point. But what about the Navy and Akainu? Well, that's when it gets interesting, because Akainu hates the Revolutionaries, hates Dragon, hates Luffy, but he respects Kizaru. And maybe when the betrayal is revealed, Akainu will explode. He'll use everything he has to wipe out Kizaru, but maybe by then it'll be too late, because Borsalino will have already joined the true liberators of the world. He'll already be on the other side of the war. And when that war begins, and it'll be light versus lava. That was today's content. We hope you liked it and want to share your opinion on the subject. Don't forget to share the video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care and stay amazing.